Welcome back to the Russell D. McClain YouTube channel. And today we're going to dive into the 3 big mistakes that entrepreneurs make that will leave them drowning in debt. Now, I want to give you a heads up. The topic is what happens when you fail to live below your means. All right, diving into mistake number 1. Over leveraging with debt. Entrepreneurs may take on excessive debt to fund their lifestyle or business expansion without considering the long-term financial burden. This can lead to high interest payments, reduced cash flow, and ultimately the inability to meet debt obligations. If revenue projections fall short, the business may face insolvency, leading to potential bankruptcy. Now, guys, you know, in one of my early videos, I talked about the importance of living below your means. You don't want to actually put yourself so far behind that you'll never be able to catch up. Things can get overwhelming really, really quickly, especially if you get to the point where you're actually hiring larger teams. You literally will not only be in danger of bankrupting your business, but you could actually wind up having to fire employees and actually hurt their ability to provide for their families. So you always want to be living below your means. You don't want to play too close to the edge because you may not be able to leverage in situations like that. It could be very damaging to your business because you're always going to have fixed assets that you have to maintain and all sorts of fixed costs for your business that if you can't meet those payments on time, it will actually put you in a position where not only you'll be in danger of going bankrupt, but you'll be probably out of business, right? Because if you can't serve your clients at the highest levels because you can't afford to invest in the proper resources to actually provide that actual value, you're only going to be shooting yourself in the foot every time. So you definitely want to be mindful of that, right? Always put yourself in a situation where you're actually cutting out expenses that don't matter. You're not basically overvaluing things that actually have no true value in your business. And you definitely also don't want to be distracted by things, right? Because a lot of times if you're distracted by the wrong things, that can actually cost you financially as well. You don't want to put yourself in that position. Mistake number 2, neglecting cash flow management. A focus on personal spending can distract entrepreneurs from the critical task of managing their business's cash flow. This oversight can result in insufficient working capital, which is essential for day-to-day operations, paying employees, and covering unexpected expenses. Poor cash flow management can quickly lead to operational disruptions and business failure. You have to be mindful of what is coming in as well as what's going out. You definitely don't want to put yourself so far behind that you're trying to play catch up and you never get there. You definitely don't want to do that. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then both Peter and Paul show up with their hand out looking for their money, right? And like I said, when you're making these poor financial management decisions, it could affect your employees, and you don't want to do that. Now, here's a rule of thumb. Even if you're starting out as a solopreneur, you definitely want to stay below your means. Why do I say that? Because you're creating the foundational principles and culture that you will be teaching your employees, right? You want to be a good steward, a good leader in your business. You want to set good examples. So if you have sound financial decision making, right, and money management habits, I'm telling you, your team will feel more confident that you can steer the ship properly and they can focus on what it is that they do that adds value to the business as a whole. So you definitely want to be mindful of how you are managing this cash flow. Because the point is, you don't want to just be cash flow positive, you want to be profitable as well, right? And a lot of times you may have to say, okay, we're going to be in the season where we're going to be able to maintain operations, but we won't be as profitable. So I don't want to take on any unnecessary debt or expenses at this time. I simply want to get us to a place where we can be highly profitable. Therefore, we're going to cut out unnecessary expenses, and we're going to make sure we only focus on things that moves the needle in our business and that adds to our profitability, right? Moving on to mistake number 3. And as I always say, guys, number 3 is foundational. If you fail to observe this mistake and its best practices, you will find yourself in danger of repeating all of them and taking yourself out of business, guys. And you don't want to do that. Here we go. Underestimating the importance of reserves. Entrepreneurs who don't prioritize saving and maintaining financial reserves expose their business to significant risk. Without an emergency fund, they are ill-prepared for economic downturns, market fluctuations, or unforeseen expenses. This lack of financial cushion can force entrepreneurs to make detrimental decisions such as selling assets at a loss or taking on unfavorable loans to stay afloat during tough times. Now, we don't want to be making scatterbrained decisions. We want to save to invest in future opportunities to create more profitability for our businesses. If we're not taking a percentage of that money to set aside for active investments in our business, we're going to run the risk of falling behind, right? We don't want to do this. Anything can happen. A flood can happen that you didn't foresee. It could damage all of the computers that you need. That's absolutely essential for you to run your business. So what is going to happen if you can't replace that equipment? You're going to be at a loss, right? And if your employees don't have the equipment that they need for them to serve you in their business, they're going to be at a loss, right? So you don't want to put yourself in that situation. And you definitely don't want to take on any debt or, like I said, rob Peter to pay Paul. So now you might find yourself going into your personal expenses for your livelihood, such as utilities or rent or mortgage or car payments. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put yourself in a place where you're not prepared. Just like Solomon talks about, observe the ways and habits of the ant, right? The ant always plans for the worst, right? Remember what I said before in previous videos. You want to be thinking negative when things are positive and positive when things are negative. You get what I'm saying? Because what that's going to do is that's going to allow for you to plan wisely and to manage and leverage your money wisely. You don't want to be riding too high when everything is going good, and then some black swan out of nowhere shows up. As I said, disruption will always follow your attention. If that happens and you're ill-prepared, you're only going to damage you and the people that you are sent here to serve. So don't put yourself in that position, guys. Always remember to live well below your means, think positive when things are negative, plan well ahead into the future, and make sure that you are planning and saving for actual investments that is going to further move the needle in your business for profitability, right? So that you're leveraging debt wisely moving forward. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Please give us this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment so that we can get feedback on anything else that could be useful to you or ways that we can improve the experience for you on this channel. Actually share this actual video with as many like-minded people as you possibly can, and give us a subscribe because it actually helps us to reach more people and serve more. All right, have a blessed one.